Alright, boys. Another day, another cut content from AniNews. The final season 2 cut content. Obviously, it has season 3 one, so we're still gonna keep these going on for season 3. But yeah, let's see what he has for us today in this final episode. ReZero season 2 is just a cut content finale. The true twist ending and Echidna's secret plan. Let's go.
Wrapped things up rather nicely.
Let's go.
Season 2 wrapped things up rather nicely for us.
Mm-hmm.
There were very few questions that went unanswered by the credit roll. But the same can't be said for the ending in the novels. Setting aside the whole cliffhanger ending they decided not to include, there was also quite a few missing details that would have left us with even more questions.
Okay.
Stuff relating to the Echidna from the tomb and even the involvement of an unknown third party with the assassin organization. So let's finish up season 2 of cut content for ReZero and take a look at everything the finale didn't include from the novels.
Bet.
Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Episode 50, Offbeat Steps Under the Moonlight, covering the last 2 chapters of volume 15 of the light novel. Starting things off moments after the fight began, we learned that Elminia was only a fraction of the true potential dark magic has to offer.
Oh.
It apparently provides the greatest magical power out of any other element in the world.
Was that mentioned? Was that mentioned before? The most magical power out of any... Huh.
So, Beatrice was going to showcase every bit of mastery her mother had taught her.
I don't think I knew that.
But because Subaru was now a spirit mage himself, he too could take part in the casting of dark magic as well.
That is the coolest shit, I think. Dude, I think that's the fucking coolest thing, dude. The Bayako and Subaru fucking combos go crazy. That shit's gonna go crazy, dude. I mean, we saw how that went, dude. That's fucking amazing. The fact that Subaru literally has the same type, they're literally compatible. They're literally meant for each other, bro. This is fucking peak.
You see, a contracted spirit makes it so that the spirit mage no longer needs to rely on the mana within themselves. Instead, they become able to manipulate the mana within the air. That's why Subaru could influence the world around him even while having this broken gate.
Got it.
As for the mental image he came up with to help him do that, well, he pretty much imagined that he was loading a gun. He'd visualize himself creating these bullets of mana, then pull the trigger.
Oh.
Beatrice, on the other hand, didn't limit herself to only that. She was instead using many different variations of all the spells in her arsenal.
Yeah, bro, Subaru... Bro, low-key, Subaru got me thinking it was debuffs in the beginning too, but yeah, no, dude. Dark magic, bro? Like, I'm not gonna lie. This, like, the potential, right? The potential that this magic has, Betty really has shown us. Betty has shown us and pretty much proved that this shit is peak, bro. This shit is good. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Subaru had me thinking that this shit was ass, but like, nah, bro. Betty was just like, watch me.
Using many different variations of all the spells in her arsenal. Almost as if she was trying to showcase everything she was capable of to Subaru.
That's cool.
Now, once Subaru and Beatrice had come up with their plan to win, a large part of it was out of consideration for Amelia. Because the biggest issue right now was finding the power to wipe out the rabbits all at once, Subaru knew that Amelia was thinking of sacrificing herself. It was pretty obvious that she was considering using a power she'd only ever used once before. One that would have ended with her becoming another statue of ice.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, I did not think that was what she was trying to fucking do there. Whoa. Whoa. So she was... Okay. Because I definitely did get the impression, right? I definitely got the impression that she was going to go down with a fight, right? I definitely had the impression that she was gonna go down with a fight and that she was gonna like try her best. I definitely got that, but I didn't get the impression that she was gonna fully sacrifice herself and just literally do what she fucking did before and just freeze the entire fucking area and literally become an ice statue. That's definitely not what I thought at all. That's fucking insane. And yeah, yin magic. I gotta start calling it yin magic, bro. I mean, dark magic, I guess you could just say that, but like, yin magic is the correct way to call it. But yeah, Amelia needs to calm the fuck down though. I ain't trying to see that.
Since this was a situation that Subaru wanted to avoid, he went on to tell Amelia to be a little more selfish. He didn't want her to continue to think that it was okay to hurt herself so long as everyone else was saved. So Subaru made sure to come up with a plan that completely avoided that. A plan that would culminate with the casting of a spell known as Cocytus.
Cocytus.
As the icy prison began to float its way into the sky, Subaru felt the need to hurl one last insult, all while flipping them off in the process. Bringing us now to the final moments of the battle. If you're wondering why the rabbits began to eat themselves here, Well, that's because Al-Shamak had deprived their senses of any potential prey.
Oh, Al-Shamak deprived their sense of any potential prey. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I did notice that. I don't think I really pointed it out in the reaction, but I did see them eat each other, for sure. I did notice that.
By removing their ability to determine where the closest source of mana was, it made it so that hunger was no longer their most overwhelming sensation. Instead, the only thing the rabbits now felt was disappointment and despair.
So they didn't feel literally the worst part of it. Like, literally the worst part of it is the fucking hunger shit, dude. I mean, we've seen that shit before. That shit is bad. That makes sense.
Instead, the only thing the rabbits now felt was disappointment and despair. So, with no clear goal in sight, the rabbits were left with no choice but to consume whatever was closest to it. That was the only way it could attempt to satisfy its single desire.
Correct.
In the end, all that was left was an endless loop of hunger, despair, and rebirth. There was no limit to the cravings it felt it needed to satisfy. But as this hellish cycle continued, there was a slight moment where the demon beast itself began to wonder if this was how their mother felt.
Oh.
It was a single instance of reason that manifested itself into one momentary thought. A short-lived perception of itself and its mother that ended up quickly being overshadowed by the madness of gluttony.
That's crazy.
Anyway, with the rabbits having been defeated by the greatest of spells in the Shamak variant, we can now move on to the moments in the tomb.
Yeah, I mean, I think what did I say in the reaction, bro? How does Daphne feel about this? Remember that Daphne kind of like talked to Subaru? It was like, good luck. Like, how does Daphne feel that like the rabbit and the whale are just GGs? Like, I actually want to actually get like more in depth on how the fuck she feels about that. I mean, I don't know if she really cares. Does she really care? I don't know if she really cares about that, but that's cool. That's interesting that the rabbit kind of like had like that not really thought, but I guess like felt that, right? It's kind of like what they were feeling. That's kind of wild, no?
Anyway, with the rabbits having been defeated by the greatest of spells in the Shamak,
not feeling, just think, because like they can't sense or feel anything, huh? They were not. Okay, that's crazy.
Variant. We can now move on to the moments in the tomb.
Let's go.
One thing to note about Roswaal here was that he wasn't wearing his typical jester's outfit. Instead, he wore clothing similar to what he had back when he lived in Sanctuary. He didn't even have any of his makeup on.
Oh.
So that's why Beatrice had made the comment about him acting rather different. Now, after Roswaal revealed that he'd been transferring his soul over to the bodies of his kin, Beatrice realized it'd been staring her right in the face the entire time. The single blue eye from his original form was the one thing passed down from body to body.
Ooh,
This,
yeah.
however, wasn't Beatrice's reason for hitting him. It wasn't her right to punish him for having stolen the bodies of his children. That right belonged solely to the children themselves. So it was for this very reason that Beatrice decided to dismiss it, instead only blaming him for burning down the library.
Okay.
As Roswaal was about to explain his involvement with everything else, Beatrice figured it was probably best not to hear it. She felt that if Roswaal was to identify all the schemes he'd been a part of, then it was likely she wouldn't have been able to forgive him at all. So, for the sake of the truce with Subaru, Beatrice simply didn't allow him to talk about it. Now, if you're wondering why the witch in the tomb looked so different from the witch in the dream world, well, that was something first explained when Amelia saw her. The way she described it was that the woman in the tomb was only reminiscent of the witch she'd come to know personally. There was this very clear difference in age between the two of them. Whereas the Echidna from the trials looked to be in the latter half of her teenage years, this person looked to be at least in her mid-20s.
That's kind of yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, why do they look so like they it's kind of funny. I said that, like, why do they look so different? Yeah, motherfuckers were like, bro, she's been dead for so long, and I'm like, yo, fair enough. I fucking guess, bro. Okay, thank you for the reminder. She was eager to see Subaru defeat them in episode 13. Okay, right. She was like, I don't know what she said along the lines of it, but I do remember her being like, I can't wait to see how like you do it or something like that, right? She feels satisfied since Subaru proved there's someone who satisfied the infinite gluttony. Got it. Okay. Yeah. I do remember her being like 19. Yeah, in the cut content, like around that age. Yeah, I do remember like the teen years being mentioned, but this one looks in her mid-20s, which is interesting.
If anything, she could probably pass as a relative or sibling, but she certainly wasn't the same Echidna she'd met before. At least not to her anyway. Moving on to Roswaal's trial in the cathedral, It turns out that Subaru never actually got to clearing up the whole baby incident.
What?
The way Amelia seemed so earnest in the way she was approaching it made dispelling the whole misconception something that needed to be done later.
What? Wait, Subaru just... Wait... Subaru just... He didn't clear that shit up? Excuse me?
It wasn't something Subaru felt he could briefly explain.
Okay.
So he decided to leave it be until everything else was sorted out.
Motherfucker, what? Amelia still thinks she's pregnant? Yo, what are we doing? Subaru, clear it up, please. Let's not have her think she's pregnant for too long. Let's not do that.
As for this makeshift conference/punishment, Patrasche and Frederica made
funny.
sure to get their hits in as well. Frederica used her transformed fist to give him quite the punch.
Oh.
And the land dragon charged into him much like how she did to Garfield.
Oh, what the fuck? Patrasche did that shit? Oh my god, Patrasche. Hey, I'm glad Frederica got in something too, though.
So everyone got their turn when it came to giving Roswaal his punishment.
Okay.
Now, when Roswaal went on to talk about his oath sealed by a curse, there was an additional element to it that made it a bit more serious. Getting reduced to ashes wasn't the only punishment for breaking it. And that's because an oath like this was tied to the very person's soul.
Oh.
What this meant was that if Subaru or Roswaal had lost the bet and didn't follow through with what they promised, then their soul would have literally fallen into the void.
Oh my
likely
god.
making it impossible for either to come back again. Anyway.
Well, that makes it way crazier than it was said. That is fucking crazy.
After Roswaal made his new oath and got called a piece of shit a couple more times, there was an entire scene with just Beatrice and Subaru after that didn't make it into the anime. Subaru was currently in the deepest parts of the tomb thinking everything over.
Oh.
He was sitting next to the coffin of the witch it belonged to. While that did give Beatrice strange ideas as to what Subaru could be up to, she told him she would keep secret whatever unspeakable hobbies he was into.
What?
An obvious misunderstanding on her part.
What kind of misunderstanding? Betty, what? What are we talking about?
But definitely a sign of their new level of intimacy. There was now this clear feeling of affection between the two of them.
No, but I'm so glad that they're actually like cool now, bro. Like, I'm so glad that Bayako is just like, you know, they kind of got like this sibling bond, bro. They're friends, like whatever you want to call them, bro. I'm just glad that like Betty got out of that library and got that solved, bro. I was tired. I was tired of seeing her in so much pain, man. I was so sad, bro. I'm so glad that like now Bayako seems to just be closer with Subaru now, right? Like even closer than she was, and she got her closure. And now we might see her like even more regularly. Like she's just gonna be like with us from now on, bro. That's awesome.
In any case, Beatrice then went on to identify the woman in the coffin. Though she stated her name to be Echidna, she also confirmed that this wasn't the same Witch of Greed that he was familiar with.
Okay.
It made Subaru think that perhaps there were two different Echidnas. But unfortunately, that wasn't something Beatrice could either confirm or deny.
Two different Echidnas, and you can't confirm or deny that? Motherfucker, what?
As the two continued to talk, the topic of conversation shifted over to Shima's sacrifice. Specifically her disappearance along with the original Ryuzu and the crystal that sealed her. While her sacrifice was an unavoidable step in freeing Sanctuary, Subaru believed her choice to do so was all for the sake of Garfield. So he felt it was necessary to live up to the standards she laid out for them. Now, it's after all this that the most important part of their conversation begins.
Okay.
There was quite a few things that Beatrice felt Subaru needed to know about being a spirit mage, especially since it was a byproduct of his accomplishments that he wasn't even expecting. First was that Beatrice was no regular spirit. She wasn't a lesser spirit, greater spirit, or even quasi-spirit.
Okay.
No, as a spirit manually created from the actions of a witch, Beatrice was what's known as an artificial spirit.
An artificial spirit. Okay, I mean, I knew she wasn't a regular spirit. I knew that. It's just like that's crazy. So she's an artificial spirit, and yeah, the different Echidna shit is still like throwing me off. Like I'm not gonna lie, dude. And Sonny, what's up, man? Thank you for pulling up to the stream, bro. I think that shit is still weird to me. Like two different Echidnas. Like what the fuck are we talking about? And she can't confirm or deny. The fact that you can't confirm or deny that is fucking worrying me. And also, that goes to show why they were hiding her eyes in the first place. Like, now it makes sense why they were hiding how she was looking. Like, not even just the eyes, like the nose, like everything, how she looked. Makes fucking sense, yeah.
While this did mean that she had certain special powers, it also meant that she had certain flaws as well.
Oh.
The most prominent being that she monopolizes the person she makes a contract with.
Oh.
This wasn't because she wanted Subaru all to herself, though. It was more so because the cost of keeping her as a spirit was simply just that high.
Damn.
Any spirit mage contracted with Beatrice would find their entire capacity filled up by only her. So that meant it was now impossible for Subaru to make contracts with any other spirits.
He can't make contracts with any other spirits. Betty is just that expensive. It's not bad. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. Because Betty's fucking broken. Betty's fucking broken. And the compatibility, right? You got the same type of magic. The power of friendship too. The bonds, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. This is fine. This is fine. I don't mind the fact that he can't. Yeah, he's only limited to Betty, to be honest. I don't mind that at all. That's not even a bad thing. That's not even bad.
Capacity filled up by only her. So that meant it was now impossible for Subaru to make contracts with any other spirits.
It's fine.
As for her next flaw, well, that relates more to her capacity for mana.
Oh.
As it turns out, the frightening display of magic she'd put on while facing the rabbits was really only a one-time occurrence. Apparently, it required every bit of mana she'd been storing over the past few centuries.
What? What? It's fucking cute. Excuse me?
And that was mana she only happened to obtain by stealing it in little amounts from people in the mansion. So what we saw here was essentially 400 years worth of mana coming to the surface.
What? We're back to 0 mana? Oh my god. Just when I thought we were getting stronger and we Wait, no! No, this is actually bad. God damn it. No, this is actually really bad. We can't make contracts with other spirits. And we got 0 mana Betty? No, Subaru. Oh, this is so annoying, bro. Tabe, why? Why you gotta make our boy like this? But listen. I don't have okay. I don't got low hopes though. I don't got 0 hope. We got the sloth witch factor, okay? All right. She can only use Subaru's mana now. That sucks. Better than nothing. It's better than nothing. But listen, we got the sloth witch factor, okay? And listen, what's something that could happen? Subaru, we could kill another archbishop, right? Like, we could kill another archbishop and he just starts stacking witch factors. Is that how it works? Like, could that actually fucking work? Like, what if like what if Subaru just keeps killing archbishop and stacking these like fucking witch factors like the infinity stones? That'd be fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that is yeah, Betty got nerfed by the contract. True, magic crystals could also work. Betty's there for the emotional support, y'all. You know what? Good point. Betty's just there to be cute and emotional support. You know what? I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. I don't mind it. Betty's fine, bro. She's cool, bro. Fuck it.
Resulting in a complete depletion of her reserves all the way down to 0.
Get it? Re-zero?
What this meant was that Subaru would now have to use his own personal mana just to keep Beatrice corporeal, leaving nothing left for any sort of magic whatsoever.
Dude, this is fucking crazy. What the fuck? Bro, you know what? Whatever. You know what? Listen, it's fine. Betty is gonna be the emotional support, and that's all we need, bro. The emotional part, right? The friendship part, right? The power of friendship. You think killing Archbishop is a kid's play? No. Obviously not. I'm just saying maybe it could be possible, right? That like we kill the Archbishop and Subaru just stacks witch factors. And that's his way of getting even stronger. I don't know. That's a possibility. I mean, his gate broke. Might as well be a mana supply. Yeah. No, his gate. Yeah. His gate broke. So, you know what? This is fine. I don't mind this at all, man.
So, the two of them were now this duo of Spirit and Spirit Mage currently incapable of casting magic.
What a duo.
Likely the first ever of its kind.
What a duo.
Now, moving on to the ceremony of Subaru's knighthood.
That's funny.
There were quite a few additional reasons for it, aside from Roswaal just following through with the promise.
Right.
Not only did this qualify Subaru to stand by Amelia's side, but it also formalized the merit of all his accomplishments. You see, by becoming a knight, the news of him defeating the White Whale and an Archbishop of Sin would reach even the neighboring kingdoms.
Oh.
So part of this was to gather a lot of foreign and domestic interest in Amelia's candidacy.
You know what? That's fucking goated. That's actually a very good point. You know what's another thing that we haven't seen? Yeah, I was literally going back to that. You stole my thought, bro. Listen, I haven't seen this yet. What do we got on the map here? What's the map here? So, we got Wallachia Empire, right? Lugunica Kingdom. Why does it say Lugunica? Anyway, Lugunica, right? Karagi. Gusteko. This is from where Elsa's from, huh? Right? Yeah, Elsa's from Gusteko. Uninhabited lands. Okay. And Augria Sand Dunes and the Great... I think it's cut off there. I don't think I can see that.
Foreign and domestic.
It's like zoomed in. I don't know if I can see that. Let me see. Oh, the Great Waterfall. Oh, yeah, the Great Waterfall. Right. Okay. Damn. Look at this map, dude. Yeah, this is my first time seeing this shit, dude. Yeah, it's a flat map. Yeah, it's like flat, right? The world is like flat. This is interesting. This is kind of cool.
Neighboring kingdoms.
The fuck?
So, part of this was to gather a lot of foreign and domestic interest in Amelia's candidacy. That's why such an extravagant ceremony was needed.
Oh.
As the topic of conversation shifted over to Anne, Subaru couldn't help but feel a bit jealous over how close she was with Amelia. Yes, she was only 9 years old, but it did make sense that she would get along with Amelia since the two were pretty much the same age mentally. In fact,
wow,
she was probably even more mature than Amelia was.
That's so crazy. Yo, that's fucking crazy. God damn, bro. And a kid is more mature than freaking Amelia, bro. The desert where seal is of Tella? Yeah, that's true. That is where the seal is of Tella. That's crazy. Yo, yeah, that's my first time seeing the map, dude. That's fucking cool.
There was, however, one thing that Subaru actually didn't like about her. And that was the fact that she was the one who planted the absurd idea of how babies were made.
It was her. It was her. Was that mentioned? I don't know if I forgot about that. Literally, frame one. It was her. What the fuck? This fucking...
In any case, it turns out that Roswaal had planned for this private conversation to happen. He even went so far as to put up some sort of people-repelling barrier. That way the two could talk about Echidna without having to worry about being overheard or disturbed.
This guy just has a spell for anything. This guy just has everything, bro. What?
The first thing Roswaal mentioned was that Echidna didn't have any siblings or relatives, basically confirming the existence of a single Witch of Greed.
Oh.
What this meant for Subaru was that the Echidna he met in the dream world was someone else. I mean, with both Beatrice and Roswaal saying the exact same thing, there was no way he could deny that the witch he'd met was different. It was a revelation that just went to make everything that happened to him all the more confusing. That said, the witches he met were undeniably real. There was just no way to confirm whether the one who called herself Greed was an imposter or not. In any case.
What the? I'm just getting confused. Yeah, my bad, creation. Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, I literally just forgot about it, frame one. I forgot about frame one. Yeah, they look similar as fuck though. Low key, I'm gonna run it back a little bit. I need to lock in.
The exact same thing. There was no way he could deny that the witch he'd met was different. It was a revelation that just went to make everything that happened to him all the more confusing. That said, the witches he met were undeniably real.
Yeah.
There was just no way to confirm whether the one who called herself Greed was an imposter or not.
So, we got an imposter among us? Who the fuck is this?
In any case,
Has no relatives, so no children. Yeah. No siblings, no children, no nothing. So what the fuck are we...
resurrecting the real Echidna remained Roswaal's objective. There may not currently be any known method for bringing her back to life, but the initial step of gathering her remains has already been completed.
Yeah?
The next was now to have Amelia take the throne. So, if you look at it in terms of common goals, then Subaru being Roswaal's co-conspirator was something that really didn't change at all.
That's crazy. Yes, Roswaal's still going forward with his goals and shit, what he wants to do. It's just a little different now.
In the end, Subaru had pretty much completed Roswaal's objectives just like how he expected him to.
Yeah.
The only difference was the manner in which he did it. And that brings us to a very interesting line from the novels. You see, Roswaal had mentioned something about how Subaru's loss should have made him become a sage. A type of person who only wanted to protect the one most precious to him.
You should have known loss. You should have felt loss so great you would have become a sage who would dodgily protect only that most precious to him? A sage? Subaru a sage? Let me... Huh.
That was apparently how Roswaal was planning on saving him. Although the statement itself was very vague, it did mark the second time that the title of sage had been mentioned in the same context as Subaru.
Yeah.
The first being from the encounter with all the witches.
Yeah, I remember that too. I think, I don't know what concept specifically it was, but like I do remember that being mentioned as well. Subaru the sage? Question mark?
So it's pretty obvious that Roswaal or the witches seem to know something that Subaru doesn't. Regardless of what the true intent of these statements may be,
That's sus as fuck.
they
I don't
really
know about
didn't
that.
matter anymore since this was a path that Subaru ultimately decided to reject. Instead, he was now following the path of the Fool, a path that Roswaal made sure to make clear he would never allow Subaru to compromise on.
He actually said the path of the Fool? Is that what we're calling it?
You see, if Subaru truly was going to save everyone without leaving a single person behind, then Roswaal was going to make sure that that's exactly what was going to happen. It's a sentiment that brings us to a line that was severely mistranslated in the anime.
Of course.
What Roswaal said here wasn't supposed to be in a context that referred to himself. Instead, it was more like a vow he was making to Subaru. One that states if Subaru was to lose a single person he'd chosen to protect, then Roswaal in response would proceed to kill everyone else.
What the fuck? Hereafter, if you lose someone around you who you should have protected, I will swiftly burn the remaining others away without hesitation. I'm so glad I'm watching these contents. What? This line is fucking crazy. We gotta save everyone. Subaru, you better save everyone. I think he will. It's just, again, sacrifice, a lot of depth, a lot of resetting, but I think Subaru will ultimately be able to reach that. It's just a lot of pain, a lot of death on the way, but Sage like the one who sealed the witch? Theory. Theory. Let me cook. Subaru the Sage from a very long time ago. Because of some vow or contract, he lost his memories. He's the one who sealed away Satella or the Witch of Envy. Let me cook. And saved her or something. I don't know. Not cause Flugel, right? I don't know. Like, I'm still on that Satella shit, guys. Why does Satella say that shit? Like, you saved me a long time ago, or like, I don't know. That whole Sage thing is very weird. It's very sus. I don't know, but this line is crazy though. Very lost in mistranslation for sure. This shit was lost in mistranslation really badly because that is definitely not something that I even fucking noticed while watching the episode at all. This is way crazy. This is very crazy.
Thus forcing Subaru to have to restart. Because Subaru was now the only person who could lead him to his goal, Roswaal wasn't going to accept any sort of compromise regarding the path he chose to follow. From here on out, it was either going to be all of them or none of them.
Either all of them or none of them. Fair enough. Yeah. Subaru was gonna do that shit no matter what anyway. Yeah, he didn't really need Roswaal for that, bro. Like, Subaru is still gonna just, like, obviously do that no matter what. Like, that's literally his goal, like, what he wants to do. He wants to save everyone. Not leave a person behind, bro. No sacrifices. Wait, Flugel is the name of a star from our world, by the way? I did not know that. Very interesting fact. Wait, let me cook. Right? The correlation, right? Correlation. Subaru, star. Flugel, star. Subaru's Flugel. He's the sage. That's why he's being called the sage. Subaru is Flugel. Nah, I don't fucking know. Did I cook or burn the kitchen? But it's still weird that, like, he's been mentioned twice to be like some sort of sage, bro. That's weird.
It's either going to be all of them or none of them. There was no room for any more miscalculations.
Subaru's a star cluster? I don't know then. I have no clue what the fuck this sage shit is then. That's so sus. Like, a lot of mystery. It's just very, very mysterious, very vague. Like, again, tap A, bro. Just give me the answers. Stop, bro. It's too many. There's too much going on, man. Yeah, come on, tap A, please.
To be all of them.
I just want to know. I want to be a knower.
Or none of them. There was no room for any more miscalculations in the way he does things. One wrong step and that would mean the death of everyone.
Yep.
Now, while that does sound a little bit threatening, it wasn't much of a problem so long as Subaru stayed true to who he was right now. It was just a little bit of extra pressure coming from the most powerful spellcaster in the world.
Yep.
Anyway, the final parts of their conversation came to reveal a hidden plan outside of the ones Roswaal had made. As it turns out, Elsa was supposed to be the only assassin hired to take part in the contract at the mansion. Not only that, but the contract itself was only supposed to target Beatrice.
Oh.
The Tome of Wisdom only mentioned liberating her, no one else.
Oh.
As we saw though, Elsa wasn't alone and her contract didn't target only Beatrice. So someone else had also planned for an attack on the mansion. Someone that wasn't Roswaal had hired the assassin organization as well.
It was kind of mentioned, like mother or mama or whatever the fuck, right? Something like that Amelie said, right?
A clear indication that Subaru's troubles were only just beginning. In any case, the rest of the episode was pretty much the same. But there was one short addendum at the end of the novel leaving us on a pretty big cliffhanger. So if you don't want to know what that is, then feel free to click off the video now.
Right, well, I'll listen to this. I think this is like the thing they skipped, right? I think AniNews will go over it a little bit, but I think we're also gonna watch the Nut video in the future as well. And by future, I just mean like next stream. But yeah, it's fine. We'll obviously watch this, but I'm also gonna watch the Nut video, so keep that in mind.
If you're good to hear it, then let's shift settings to one of absolute darkness.
Oh.
A place from which the only things to be heard were the insects crawling and water droplets falling.
Okay.
As that sound became dwarfed by the light footsteps of a girl with pink hair, a single comment was then made about the integrity of a reactivation ritual. Nothing else was said until after the girl had made her way out of the cave.
Okay.
When she did, this girl who was now gazing upon the real sun for the first time in what must have been centuries, found herself unamazed by what she thought was going to be a lot more magnificent. That said, she did find herself impressed by her own personal performance.
What?
The fact that her little trick had worked so well was something she couldn't help but compliment. Though it was with the assistance of a thing she truly despised, there was no denying that it did play a crucial role in lifting the barrier and recovering the magic crystal. So even if this so-called vessel didn't end up getting crushed by the trial, its help was still necessary in getting this girl out of Sanctuary. It was all a clever scheme that she alone had crafted.
I'll be honest with y'all, I have no... What does this fucking mean? What?
A plan that started ever since the one clone had broken the rules and stepped into the tomb. The day that she did, the witch who rested there had inserted a small portion of her soul into the clone's body.
Wait. Is this implying that Echidna... Is this just implying that Echidna's just out there? Right? Because... Of course. Of course. We saw Echidna like talk from Shima, wasn't it? Right? The ritual for Echidna resurrection. Yeah. Wasn't... Didn't we literally saw her in the episode prior. We literally heard her voice. So this is the plan all along? This is just the plan all along. The Echidna resurrection plan. And then Roswaal also wants to do with that. He wants to make sure that happens too. You know what? I'm down. No, that could be bad. I actually don't know. Do I? Because like, what would that mean if Echidna comes back? Like, what would that mean for the world? I don't know. Would she just chill the fuck out? I really doubt it. Again, she's a very evil witch that just does nice things sometimes. This Echidna isn't Roswell's Echidna. Good point. That's like actually a very good point, though. Yeah. Roswell wants the Echidna the tomb. Yeah, good point. You got yeah. Good point. Good point. He specifically wants the one in the tomb, but from the looks of it, it's not gonna be that one. So how is he gonna feel about that? Yikes. Wait, that's a big fucking yikes.
It was all a clever scheme that she alone had crafted. A plan that started ever since the one clone had broken the rules and stepped into the tomb. The day that she did, the witch who rested there had inserted a small portion of her soul into the clone's body, slowly but surely growing her presence and taking it over. This wasn't the same as bringing herself back to life, though. Revival by attaching a soul to another body was completely different from reviving the dead.
Okay.
This was much less elegant. Even so, the girl was happy to be able to once again walk amongst the living, ultimately naming herself Omega out of consideration for the current situation and certain intentionally vague details.
Omega? What? Is there like a... What's the context? Why... He's talking about some vague detail. It's like, why Omega specifically? Omega out of consideration for the current
situation and certain intentionally vague details.
Okay, that's it? Omega?
So, as Omega recounted everything that had happened before she got here, there were two things she believed to be worth keeping an eye on in the future. One was related to Subaru and the other to Garfield. We don't exactly know what it is she found to be so interesting about them, but she decided it was best to keep an eye on them as they eventually come to face a person that she could only refer to as him.
Face a person that she could only refer to as him? What the fuck? You believe Subaru called her that when he didn't know her name, meaning the end? Oh. You can know what shenanigans this Echidna cost in Echidna's video. Okay. Omega means the last, the end, or the ultimate limit of a set. Got it. I think, okay. I kind of get the gist of it, but I think watching that Echidna video is gonna actually, like, make me, like, fully, like, understand what the fuck is going on. And, like, maybe he'll, like, go more into depth into it. I'm down for that. I'm definitely gonna be watching that video then, but interesting.
In the meantime, though, Omega would journey forward in search of answers to the infinite number of questions that awaited her. To her, this world was nothing more than a treasure trove of knowledge intended to satisfy her limitless greed for it. So, for the first time in 400 years, a new witch had been released onto the world.
This is fucking crazy. For the first time in 400 years, a new witch has been released into the world. Oh my fucking... Bro, we literally... Bro, there's a witch out there, bro. Oh my god. This is fucking insane.
This was the true ending to the arc of Season 2. But yeah, that's gonna wrap things up for our cut content of ReZero's second season.
Damn!
Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the broader scope of the entire story. But now that we're done with this for what's probably going to be a couple of years, I'll be shifting back into more variety content until Mushoku Tensei starts again.
Damn, for a couple years. Like 4 years, right? God damn.
So you can expect a couple How Strong Are videos amongst some other stuff as well. If there's any specific topic you'd like to see, then feel free to comment it down below. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching.
That's it. AniNews. Thank you so much for the 25. Well, actually, it was kind of like more, right? Because there was like some combination shit going on, but AniNews came in so clutch this season, y'all. AniNews, thank you so much for the cut content. This guy has come in clutch a lot. Like the amount of information that he's like, the amount of information, context, and stuff that I just did not know, and just helped so much with the actual episodes. Entire scenes and dialogue cut, bro. Yeah, this shit came in fucking clutch. Who is him though? That they talked about that Garfield Subaru will meet. Yeah, that's also a very interesting thing. A very big mystery as well. Who is him? Who is he? Who is him? Like, it's always like this vague shit. Like, you know, like Betty shit, like that person, the one. Like, who is him? Him. Like, goddamn, a lot of mystery, but yeah, this is definitely what the kind of like the best part of ReZero, right? And what keeps his story going and moving forward with the lore too. It's the mystery aspect. The mystery aspect of this series is what makes ReZero, bro. It's very peak. It's just like the theorizing aspect, right? The mystery aspect. It's just, I don't know, Garfstat or something. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, man, that is it for the cut content finale, the final cut content for season 2. We're gonna keep watching these AniNews cut content for season 3, so don't worry about that, man. But if y'all enjoyed it and you're new, subscribe, leave a like down below. The full uncut version to all ReZero content will be on Patreon. As always, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.